It incorporates soothing the mind, and lots of people have said that my voice is very healing, very soothing. So, you know, listen to that energy of my voice to help to relax you, and you know, and help to heal you. So this is what this is, my channel fundamentally. Although we do look at the royals, I am looking at the royals in between the lines, the grey areas, and it's entertainment in a way, but we're looking into, you know, what's the bigger picture, intuitively. So it's kind of filling in the gaps here intuitively of what we don't kind of see. So some people believe, if you believe, you believe. If you don't believe, that's fine, okay. Thank you so much. The only problem is when you say my goodness shines through. I get this a lot, and I am a healer. I'm fundamentally a healer. The problem is when you're a healer and you're an empath, you do tend to get abused in many ways. People, I don't know, anybody got any idea why that is? Why that you, because you are sensitive, because you are open to people's feelings, and why does that attract these narcissists in a way? It's kind of, you know, that those kind of people that blush easily tend to blush and get embarrassed easily. Well, I don't get embarrassed easily, but it does, you know, I do wear, a lot of people have said I wear my heart on my sleeve. Said it for many years, you know, and I do have a good heart. I try to be very kind of diplomatic in being very kind of emotionally intelligent over things and taking into account, you know, of other people's feelings. I put myself in their shoes, that kind of thing. I actually feel their pain. That's who I am. That's why you're here, probably, because you've noticed that in me. It is a gift, but a lot of people don't see that as a gift. They see it. Somebody said, I think it's Shanalee, she sent me an email. Thank you, Shanalee, for sending me that email. That you was quite surprised that possibly somebody had hurt me. I see the good in everyone, although they are a blatant, selfish narcissist. I would see the good in that person and try to fix that. While, you know, back behind that facade of the mask that they put on to mirror who I am, which is empathic, sensitive person. And that's, you know, they put on this mask to pretend that, you know, they mirror you. That's what narcissists do, and a lot of abusers do that. But these people are so disturbed. It's hard to wrap your head around, and that's why I did this narcissistic show on Thursday. So look out for that, because it's an education of narcissism. I don't want to get into narcissism on this show, but it is about anything, and it's going to be for a while. But you know, it's nice that you can see that authenticity from me, that goodness that shines through, that is transparent. And is it something that is a hindrance, or does it hinder somebody with heightened perception and heightened sensitivities and empathic? Are they there to be kind of victimized by these narcissists? That is the only thing. I wouldn't change for anyone, and I am a nurse. I used to work. I've been working as a nurse for many years, which directed me to do this channel, because I knew that I'd got this heightened perception. But people narcissists don't get that. They find it, they want that perception, they want your energy, they want your, you know, your caring, loving side, and they feel that you could serve them, you know, be their slave. But they kind of get lost in that kind of, actually, this is too deep. This is too deep. I feel I may have targeted the wrong person. And that's where they, because it kind of opens up that big wound of theirs, and makes them look at themselves when they find that they're with an empath, or somebody like me that's emotionally intelligent. They don't kind of, they don't realize that they are investing into something that's highly emotionally intelligent. That's where they trip up with somebody like me. Okay. Yeah, so hi everyone, and I'm looking over here. I'm not ignoring you. I'm very kind of conscious of not ignoring people. So let me have a look at your comments here. Jamie, hello Jamie. We will put up a lot from narcissists. We do feel sorry for them in a way. Yes, we see the good in everyone. Yes, and thank you. That's from another empath. Thank you. And the only people you wouldn't get narcissists on here, people with no heart, unless they are looking. They don't want to know about people who, you know, human beings who have feelings and are sensitive. They don't want to know. They want to treat people like objects. So they're not going to watch this channel, guys. This is protected from those evil people. This is about the divine, and it's about you know, energies that protect. So let's have a look at your questions and comments here, guys. Okay. So yeah, I will get on to whatever today is, for whatever you want to ask. Really, it's a healing of the mind kind of morning show, and energies. So if you do want to ask anything about that, or you can ask about, you know, this is about it's like Reiki for the mind, and healing energies. This morning show. So if you want to contribute to that, you can. But if you want to ask any other question, please do. Okay, let's have a look here. Hi everyone, and Lily Forte. Good morning. I am in need to speak with you privately. May I email you and explain something to you? Absolutely. Yeah, give me an email. Okay. Now, be careful when you do send me emails, and I don't mind if it's something like that you want to talk privately. I don't mind, but when you send emails, don't forget I get lots and lots of emails, and I try to answer the emails, and I also try to answer all of your comments on my channel. So I have a big job doing that. And I like to do it personally. I like to talk to you personally. I like to answer all of my emails personally. So if I don't get to answer your emails, please don't take that as an insult. Just remember that I'm dealing with what I need to deal with. So hi, well, let's carry on. Alexander, hi there. There are so many narcs out there. It's just bad luck to fall for them. Bad luck. Yeah, I guess so. They usually try several people until one falls for them. I think they do learn as they go along narcissists that that person was too difficult. I'm going to try and go for an easier target. Somebody who's not so educated, but they tend to want to be that person. Narcissists tend to want to be that person, so they choose somebody. It's something that they can never be. That kind of, it's so complicated. It really is. It's somebody, that they cannot be, and this person will be way out of their league, and they know it. They will have a managerial job. They will be, I don't know, somebody who is. I don't know. It can be anything that they cannot be. Whatever they see in their crazy minds, I'd never be able to be like that person. And it's rooted from envy. Narcissism is rooted from envy and jealousy. So when they meet you, they are envious of you. So you have to be out of their league to do that, okay? And then they start to pretend to be like you. They're very difficult to detect if they're covert narcissists, okay? And people like me who've experienced that now will stand back and, well, I will show who I am when I get to know you. That's how it is. And you see, narcissists don't like that. They want to do it, instantly. They want to do it now, and let's get over with this bit so I can start to devalue you and take your your soul off you and steal it and pretend to be, it's crazy. It's it's crazy. It really is. And people think you're crazy thinking that about people, but it isn't crazy. It isn't crazy, because we empaths have been called crazy for many years when it's not us that are crazy. And that film, Single White Female, have you seen that? Single White Female, where she pretends to be this flatmate of hers. And that's what it's like. They pretend to be, they watch you, they emulate you, and all of this kind of thing. And they mirror you. They show you what you want to see. They're psychopaths. They're psychopaths. I would call them psychopaths. I would. This is how their brain is wired. They are, they're damaged, and it's they don't even know who they are. It's I wouldn't say it's even sad. These people are dangerous to be around. Okay. Yes. Okay, Shanley. Yeah. Let's go on to another subject here. Okay. I just answering these questions here. And Eileen Ball here. I know, Rhonda. When I tried to detach from narcissists in my life, it was almost impossible. I had to draw on energy I didn't know I had, but I did. I did it. Okay. You see, if you've never experienced narcissism, you would find this subject boring. And I'm not saying, it would be like, can we get on to the next? I'm not saying, Shanley, can we get on to the next subject? But if you've never experienced a narcissist or anybody like that who wants to suck out your energies, because we are talking about energies here, this is what this is. They want to take all that energies from you, and they are energy vampires. And if you've never experienced this kind of, you will say, oh, please stop this. Can we get on to, it's boring, because you don't understand. You don't understand. And I get that, because I was there at one point. I was that naive person, although why should you have to be go through this to realize that there are these mentally ill people walking our planet? I don't think that's naive. I don't. Why should you have to go through? Yeah, I think actually I would go with Alexandra and say, I think it's unlucky when you do bump into somebody like that. Absolutely. Okay. Covert narcissists, I have seen their eyes grow darker, even you're on them. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, they change so much. Switching identities around, and I did do that, and I'm going to do now. And also, I guess this is a bit of advertising, because I'm going to do a Thursday show about waking up to the narcissist. Okay, and that is a healing channel. That's a healing radio show. I called it Reiki for the Mind. So if you're interested in that, we will continue. We will continue. Okay. With so talking about channeling, can you talk about voice energies, please? Looking at voice energies, voice energies is, if I haven't really, this is just freestyle. This is what I think about this. There's nothing written about this. Well, there possibly is, but this is me, my take on it. No script here. And the voice energies is when you have my show on loudspeaker in your lounge, okay, and you feel you like to watch my show or listen to my show if you're not watching it, because you like this, that my voice soothes you. You feel that healing energies from my voice. Okay, is that a disability for a and again, I'm going on to, you can be attacked for that. Okay, because is that a disability of attracting people who feel that you're going to be able to fulfill all of their emotional dysfunctions, like a narcissist? You do get attacked by a narcissist having a soothing energy voice. Now, what I mean by this is it reaches subconsciously into the mind, and it's kind of it's there in the background. You know what I mean when you hear my voice, this healing voice energy, and you will be lying on the sofa listening to this show, and before you know it, you've fallen asleep, and it's like, oh, I missed that show. I missed the show. Oh, damn. I wanted to, but it's there in the background. Or you may be listening to this on the train, on the way home from work, and it's helping you. My voice is helping you to it doesn't matter what I'm talking about, narcissism, the royal family, whoever it is, okay. My voice is a healing kind of voice. It's a healing voice. Spiritual energies. And you can be anywhere, at work, on your lunch break, on your coffee break, and you put your earphones in and you listen, and it's totally, you've switched off, and it's like you are it's reaching your subconscious of healing. Okay. I feel that's what my voice is. And I'm not just saying that because I'm trying to be some kind of weirdo here. But I think if you listen to my show, you know what I mean. You know that this is comforting. There's an energy here of like a kind of innate kind of maternal energy, feminine energy that comes through, and that kind of energy is very healing. It's very healing to your soul. And somebody said, when I watch your show, it's pure honey for me. And that just puts tingles down my spine, because it's just so amazing. And there is this people get benefit from voice energies, and I guess that's you know, got a double whammy here. I've got a show, which is which you can ask all these questions about the royal family, about anything. But also you can use it as like something you can switch on and just listen to that voice and vibration as like a healing energy. And many people have said, and that's why I make my videos like over an hour long. And I know sometimes I get quite fractious and my, you know, my energies are up and down. That's because I'm bringing in these intuitive energies and I can't help that, okay? But I've had many people say, you have got such a healing voice. And for women, for men, for, you know, even if you put this on and you've got animals, okay, and you've got cats and dogs that are going crazy, and you put this on in the background, I can guarantee you within an hour those cats and dogs will be fast asleep. Or you could put this on in some kind of, you know, if you work in an old folks home and you put this on in the background, I can guarantee you there'll be nobody wandering around. They'll all be, you know, snoring their heads off, having their little afternoon nap. So that's what I mean by these voice energies. I try to bring energies that are healing into my show, because that's what I am. I'm an empathic, intuitive person with a heightened healing ability. I would call it Reiki, kind of Reiki in a way. It's kind of soothing that soul, mind, body, and soul, and you know, it soothes you from head to toe. And many people have said this about my voice. Okay. Okay, well, this is something good. Okay, thank you, Shanna Lee. So it is healing, and many of you come to my channel because it is a community of healing. It's one of those voices, I don't know, it's one of those voices you fall asleep to, and that's nice. It's also nice, okay? I've even fallen asleep to listening to my own videos, so I'm aware of that, okay? Okay, so that's another question answered with the voice energies here. Healing of the mind, Reiki for the mind. That's how I see this. Okay. So, and I also put in the comments in the section there of the description. Today is about anything that is spiritual and healing of the heart. Okay, so that's what we're kind of looking at today. And I did want to bring some of you in live today to talk about, but okay, Colin Firth's voice is soothing too. I can't think of who I would see as soothing. I think there is a guy on YouTube who is into, he's got a channel that's a hypnosis channel. And I feel I used to, when I was working nights and I couldn't get to sleep, I was listening to this hypnosis. I thought maybe this would work. But it wasn't so much the hypnosis. I think anybody could do that. It was his voice. It was like, oh my, and you know, you'd sink right into these tones and these soothing voice energies. I'll give you his name because I'm all for giving for helping other channels, because that's who I am. I don't compete, I help. So The channel is called Rob's Hypnosis. I don't know, but this sounds weird, but it's got that kind of voice, like a father's voice kind of thing. And you listen to it, and it's like my voice is very maternal and feminine. When I listen to Rob's hypnosis, write it down. It's kind of, it's like listening to a fatherly kind of voice. That's if you had a great, father. I did. Very. I had great parents, so I've no problem there. But it's that kind of protective energy, and I think that's why I fell asleep to it. Because if I had a really, really grueling night shift at the hospital dealing with, I don't know, once there was like, I worked on one ward, and it was I think it was a cancer ward, and there was like 3 or 4 deaths just in one night. I mean, natural deaths of cancer, and a godsend in a way. But I was so, it's exhausting for nurses, that kind of thing. So it was like from one to the other to the other. I don't feel the public realise what you do as a nurse either. Any nurses here will. Okay, so let's switch this around, because I also protect, do readings on the royal family, or you have a narcissistic mom. I learned the hard way, and she didn't love me. Oh, I'm sorry, Rhonda. And used me. That's what they do. They use you as like objects. Once you are out of that crazy world of narcissism, you feel good and balanced. Absolutely. And usually the children become empaths. If they, well, usually not always the case, but narcissistic parents want their children to serve them like slaves, and they treat them like objects. Okay. I will get on to other questions here. It's the same as smells, isn't it? If you smell, say if you go into a grocery shop and you smell, fruit and veg, and that kind of thing, cabbages and it takes you right back as a child, yeah, when you used to go into the fruit and veg shop with your parents, and you can smell those apples and pears and all of that, all of those groceries of those organic days, if you remember, and that always takes me back. Smells take me back to childhood. So if anybody had a traumatic childhood, which is not nice, is it, to have a traumatic childhood? You shouldn't have had a traumatic childhood. You should have had some very wonderful, soothing, loving, unconditional parents. That's what you should have had. Not this person who, you could smell the leather off their belt while they was unbuckling that belt to give you a whipping. Not that kind of childhood. Okay. So yeah, and that kind of smells as well can be quite healing, hopefully. Thank you for being here. All your comments are just amazing. Okay. So I've got this thing here floating around on here about William. You want to know what's going on with William here. Saying that, so all readers saying this and all this kind of thing. I'm going to do a reading on that, actually. Okay. Good morning, everyone, and good morning, all of you. Okay, from Michigan, Jackie. Okay, what did you? I asked how will the Queen treat the baby? Will she just let Meghan? Well. Before I even finish that sentence, the Queen believes in nannies. Okay, nannies. These nannies that is it the Norwood nannies? She believes in nannies, and she doesn't agree with too much pampering of the children. She sees. I get the Queen, and I know this sounds bad, but this is how the Queen has also been brought up. You know, this is her template, and her template is Norwood nanny. Definitely, you need a nanny, and a one that's been trained specifically to not mess around and knows how to notice, correct behaviour, and a nanny. Prince Charles was brought up by a. He was closer to his nanny than he was his mother, Prince Charles. So that's what the Queen thinks about children, because she was too busy with her duties to even get involved with the upbringing of the children. She saw her children when she had the time to see her children, the Queen. And I know this sounds harsh, but this is what I'm picking up, okay? And she would say, let's bring the children in now, shall we? That kind of thing. Shall we bring the children in now? Nanny, can you bring the children in? And, the children would be allowed into, and I don't know, the study or the TV lounge or something like that, wherever they were. And they'd sit on the floor, and the nanny would be sitting on a chair too, correcting any behaviour. And they go, oh, it's okay, nanny. We're fine. We can do this. And they would take them out into the garden, pick flowers, and do things like that. But it wasn't full time parenting. It was very much when the Queen felt like it. When the Queen felt like going out to the stables and getting the ponies out, but there's always people with her. It's when the Queen felt like taking out a picnic basket and sitting on Frogmore, I don't know, near the lake at Frogmore, and picking daisies and things like that. So yeah, it's a different world, guys. You're talking about somebody, and a lot of aristocratic, wealthy people have nannies, and they see it as a privilege, because they can just spend time with their children when they've got time to be with their children. And that's why a lot of these people with high profile jobs, positions, have nannies. So let's bring the children in now, and maybe once or twice a day, bring the children in for 20 minutes, and then go at 7 o'clock, go and have a bath with the nanny and go to bed. And then may actually read a nighttime story to the children, and that's another thing they would do. So what does the Queen? How would the Queen treat this baby? Exactly the same. Exactly the same. They are to be seen but not heard, kind of thing. Now, I don't know. I've not read anything about that, about the royals. That's just coming through very intuitively. Hello, everyone. And let's have a look here. I've actually been quite close to Prince Harry. No, I mean, I saw Prince Harry. I used to live in Surrey, and there's a house there in West Sussex called Petworth House, and I used to go play polo in that area. And I was in this very kind of quaint small village, and Harry would walk around that village and no one would bother him. It's not like walking around. He used to walk around King's Road on his own at that particular time. So I saw him. He looked at me, smiled, because it was local villagers and all that kind of thing. I smiled back. And I don't know, maybe I was like 6 feet away from him. And his friend, I can't remember, there was another friend, but I remember looking at I knew that, I kind of think, is that Harry kind of thing, questioning. But I looked at his trousers and I could see, although they were cotton chinks trousers, whatever they call them, they were very kind of, you could see they were tailored, and from a tailor's, you can tell tailored clothes, can't you? And I think it got a shirt on, like you normally, cotton shirt, and these trousers that looked like they were from like Savile Row or somewhere, that had been properly tailored. Very slim. When I saw him, he was very slim, tall, very tall. I noticed, wow, he's quite tall. And that's the first thing I noticed. And yeah, he was quite tall. He smiled. He was quite friendly. I mean, I was the only person there in the village, so walking around too, looking at antique shops, and he was walking around too. So it was like that, and he plays polo in that area. So there is that small village at Petworth. They would stay at Petworth House there. I don't know, but that I guess that's why he was walking around, because he was, he was staying at Petworth. Okay. So, gosh, I've got so many comments to go through. I'm sorry if I miss your comments, guys. Okay. Thank you for the great kind of community here. What an amazing community, isn't it lovely? And Jackie, hello Jackie, good morning. Jackie from Michigan. I had 2 questions, they've gone. Oh, sorry about that. Rhonda, the Queen is not maternal, Yvonne, towards anybody. Yes, I know, right, she's not. In fact, I think if you watch that series of the Queen, which is pretty good, the series of the Queen, the Crown, sorry, when they showed the childbirth, which was pretty realistic, well, not kind of gruesome or anything like that, but I get that they actually gave, any nurses would know this, like midazolam or something to put somebody to sleep, okay? And they would do this, they would inject it into the hand, and they would do this when it got to so the Queen didn't experience all that, the blood and the placenta and all of that, and that part is very important in bonding with the baby. But back in that day, they saw that as like, oh, we're going to not, the Queen has to give birth to future kings and queens, so we're not going to expose her to that part of the birth, which could be episiotomies to get the baby out, could be force, well, it would have to be forceps if they put, so get like a full kind of presentation, like maybe 10 centimeters or something like that, of the cervix, and the baby's head starting to come down the birthing canal there, and then being given this midazolam that quickly puts someone to sleep or puts them out of, and then getting the forceps and pulling the baby out. So she she was the too posh to push, I would say. The pushing phase of the birth of the child is not cesarean section. People say it's not cesarean section. I had a cesarean section, and it's like having a damn major operation. It's just awful. It's nice to have a child, but when you have an emergency cesarean, you know about it. You know, they do it for reasons. You know, you may, the baby's heartbeat is too fast, that there's a risk of losing your life here. All of these things when it comes to emergency cesarean section, that's different. That's not too posh to push. Too posh to push is when the baby, it's ready for the mother to push. They would put the queen to sleep, and then get the forceps and actually open up the vagina. I mean, if she was awake, that would be painful, and actually pull the baby out with the forceps and that kind of thing. And if there was a need for episiotomy, they would do that. So that's when the baby was born, and then she would kind of recover very quickly after that too posh to push bit was over with, and cutting of the cord, cleaning up the baby and all of that, put the baby in the arm. You know, after all that's cleaned up, all the placenta, all the blood off the floor, then they wake up the queen and then put the baby in the arms of the queen. Although they do go through the labour, too posh to push is actually that part at the end. It's nothing to do with cesarean section. Okay, so let's have a look at your questions here. Possibly the reason, I'm not saying that takes the bond away, because you can still bond with a child even after cesarean section. It's not an issue. But the queen is not maternally drawn towards anybody. But she is towards her animals. Her favourite horse just died, and all 30 corgis now have died. I'm sure that affected her deeply. Yeah, isn't that strange that she was allowed to be close to the animals, the dogs, the corgis, the horses, the ponies? But when it came to human beings, she wasn't allowed to be close to them. And I feel that's, I did that reading, didn't I, about Harry, why Harry despises Andrew, because I feel that she had Andrew about 10 years later than Charles. And I feel at that point she may have decided, I'm going to, push this one out. I'm not going to have it's too posh to push kind of thing. And she actually bonded with Andrew and bonded with Edward for this reason. And also Philip was, not in between her, saying you can't wrap him in cotton wool, you can't spoil him, you can't bond with him, because if you bond with him, he will become needy and he won't be any good as the future king. So I did kind of cover that in the the way that Andrew was treated and the way that Charles was treated. I think she was allowed to be close to Andrew. And the animals. She could be close to her animals too. So let's have a look here. Any more questions? Yeah, The Crown's good. I enjoyed The Crown. I thought it was good. I like Victoria too, Victoria and Albert. There's a new season of that coming, isn't there? Robin, hello Robin. Your community is absolutely warm and wonderful, Yvonne. There is always great hit topics for us all to chat and share about. Yes, it's you who makes it this way. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. That is so sweet. Okay. That is so sweet. A busy mind. Hi. I think Markle is going to have an entourage of nannies. I'll only be near her child for a photo op. Yeah, yeah, I think so. If this is a surrogate baby, she's not giving birth to that child. You know, there's no kind of carrying a child and think, oh my God, I can't wait for this labour to stop. And oh my God, I've gone through 14, 15 hours of labour and now I've got to go to theatre to have an emergency C-section. Nothing like that, okay? Nothing for fighting and all of that to be presented with your baby. So she's not going to have that, is she? She's not going to have that. How does a surrogate mother actually? I can see that they could bond, but in like adopting a child kind of bonding kind of way. I don't know what your take is on that. Okay. Yeah, you hated the staples to be pulled out. Do you know what I hated? Yeah, I remember those staples. No, actually no. I think I had stitches. And I kept saying, "Is that the last one you got to take out?" And there was another one. It was sewn very difficultly, and she found it difficult to get the stitches out. Yeah, and I remember the drain. They put a drain in when I had a cesarean. I think I'd lost a lot of blood, so they put a drain in, and come to take your drain out. And I've done that to loads of people too, taking drains out, and I know how that damn well feels. But this I didn't know at the time, and she took the drain out without taking the suction off. Now, if you're a nurse, you'll know that. Okay, she took my drain out. I had a terrible time with my cesarean section. Everything was wrong with that. They didn't give me enough painkillers. They left me in a side room when I should have been on the ward, because I was anemic and I'd got drips up and blood and all of this. A urinary catheter. My catheter wasn't emptied, and I was laid there like, oh, so anemic. I couldn't, so weak. And they didn't even empty my catheter. It was bulging. What they did, they forgot about me in this side room. Oh, I didn't know that you was in a... We don't normally put C-sections in a side room. That's what the nurse said when she came in. Oh, we don't normally put C-sections. Oh, what are you doing in here? And she was a nice nurse, actually. What are you doing in here? We normally put them in on the first two beds of the ward, so keep an eye on you. I even had a monitor on. A monitor. Anyway, this nurse, I don't know who she was, took it out with full suction on. I won't say any more, but if you're a nurse, you'll know what that means. And I remember after that, always making sure that the suction is been taken off. There's no suction, but before I took out. Oh gosh, when I worked in cardiothoracics, I was taking out chest drains. Okay, so we had to take off. You had to take out the suction. That would, pulling out a chest drain without taking off the suction would be like they'd scream the house down. Okay. And I remember that, taking out the drain and not taking. She never took the suction off, and I remember that now. Although I didn't know at the time, I was too I was like, oh, get it out, And I remember thinking, oh God, that's so painful. Is it out yet? I said, oh, I'm having trouble pulling this one out. Oh my, it's stuck because it's all encrusted. I think I should have sued that damn hospital, though. It was just awful, awful. Okay, let's move on, guys. Enough about me. Yeah, you nurses don't want to. You non-nurses don't want to hear about that. Okay. Hello, Michelle. And Harry is the one who will be the good parent and hands-on. I think he will, actually. Yeah. I don't think he's going to be tolerant of crying and tantrums. because, you know, it's all about him and Megan. So when the baby starts with the tantrums, I think he will be hands-on to a certain extent. But after, you know, that's going to grate after a while, I feel, with Harry. He's not mature enough, I don't feel. Okay, yeah, make sure that your daughter's got great birth, you know, pain control there, absolutely. Yeah, good idea to video it too for any mistakes. And I shouldn't say that, but I feel after I went through so many catalogue of bloody mistakes, honestly. Um, okay, so let's continue. Let's go up here and okay, Loretto, Yvonne, why are you skipping everyone's questions? Okay, no, I'm looking at them now. So what questions? You see, when it's on here, there's so many comments, it goes flying by, and that's why they get skipped. So I'm trying to answer your questions. I won't be able to answer everyone's as well. Sorry about that. So the question that are related to the royals, mainly about William and what is said when Meghan and Harry's marriage will end. Oh, I'm not going to cover that here. Okay. What will happen? That would take me about 3 hours to cover that. Okay. I think I would have to I have got uncut readings about certain things which are leading up to that. Okay. So anyway, we was going on about maternal instincts and the nanny and all of that kind of thing. So the question here was about William. And could you please ask me that question again? Shanley, do I feel that MM and Harry will get up at night to care for the baby? I think they will have a go. I think the idea of it is it's like anything, it's novelty at first, isn't it? A bit like their marriage and relationship. It's novelty, it's good fun at first. And I feel because they are privileged and they can have nannies, I feel that, you know, they're not going to so are they going to get up at night? Well, she's certainly not going to breastfeed for sure. It's a bottle-fed baby, okay. Well, you know my take on that, guys. They do want to be hands-on because they feel that this will, because I feel that Harry's, Diana was hands-on with Harry and did a beautiful job. And I also had the pressure from Charles to take on a nanny. But she didn't like the nanny. She got jealous, didn't she, of the nanny. But I feel that Harry's thinking, no, we need to do this. We need to take this responsibility. The only thing is Harry mature enough to take on this responsibility? That's what I would be concerned of. But I do get the anchor card here. And the anchor card is they want to do this because they feel this will anchor their family, you know, ground them to know that they are like a unit. Do you know what I mean? In a psychological way, it's like, yes, we want to bond with this child. It's a good idea that we all anchor this down and actually do this ourselves. Like I'm trying to pick up on energies, nappy changing. Yeah, I think I can see Harry changing those newly born nappies. I get the newly born nappies. He's going to stop. He's going to change. He's going to be quite protective over the baby. I do get them both up in the middle of the night, at the beginning, and looking like they just rolled out of bed, kind of hair all over. I can see Meghan's long black hair, untidy, and in like her pajamas, you know, pajamas, like her white pajamas, baggy pajamas, and Harry looking really, really tired with the baby in his arms, rocking the baby to sleep, and also changing the nappy. And I think Harry is much more hands-on. He doesn't mind that, and I get Meghan is just watching what he's doing. I get that vision. Okay, well, that's nice, isn't it? That's really nice. Yeah, because they do love each other. I get the love card here. Harry and Meghan do love each other, and they do. Harry's going to be love this child to pieces. And both of them have this affection for their child, of course. Okay, that's what I get here. Is this hands-on going to last? Let's see here. Change it, yeah. Newly born, nappies, not a problem. Okay. But when this screaming child, it's like, oh, and you'll get comments. I get a comment here from Harry. How is it getting up in the night with the baby? Or when the baby gets a bit older, like 8 to 9 months old, where the lungs are so loud, you know, and screaming. But I feel at that point, I see a nanny at that point. Because they're going off here, there, and everywhere with after about 8 months to a year, I get the baby screaming so loud, as babies do. And I get that. Oh my goodness, Harry's going to say that kid has got lungs on. That kid is so loud. Okay, that's the comment he's going to make. So look out for that. Good pair of lungs on that boy. Yeah, good pair of lungs on that boy. At that point, I think hands-on for, oh gosh, not that long, 6 months. And then there's going to be a nanny. Okay. When the novelty kind of wears off, they're lucky to have that privilege, and they're going to take that privilege of being able to have a nanny here. I don't feel it's one of those Norton nanny, like around the graveyards, around the cemeteries, pushing that pram around the graveyards there in Frogmore. Okay, that's what that is. This baby's not going to move away from Frogmore for damn months. It's going to be there, pushed around the grounds of Frogmore, and while they go off on duty, it's just going to be, the child is just going to be on those grounds for a long time, I feel, in protection. So let's have a look here, because they're not far from Windsor. They can take the baby to Windsor to see the Queen on a Sunday for Sunday lunch or something. So they're not even going to step out of that estate, I don't feel. I get a Hello magazine. Look out for a Hello magazine. They're going to offer them independently, maybe, I don't know, a couple of 3 million to take photographs inside Frogmore with the baby. Wow. And they're all going to be very glammed up. Yeah, this baby is going to be in hiding. I think this is the Queen, and this is the royals. They don't bring their children out until they're a bit older. And I feel this is the protocol, protection of this child. Here. I bet you're glad that I've got onto the readings for you guys who love my readings. Sorry. Yeah, they're very lucky. They're very lucky. They're very, very blessed at this point. They're being very protective. They're all looking at other options too, in terms of where do we live? I definitely a place in America, New York, LA. Where do we go? I do get that this baby's not going to move from Frogmore for a while. Okay. I feel that Megan's not happy about having to stick around Frogmore. This is what's coming through here, this dark energy again. Okay. It's dark energy. Yeah, because that's next to the option card. Options of where do we live, America, USA. She's looking, I want to go and partly live in the USA. I think that was some of her plans to get away from the royal family. She's not happy about this. Again, this deception card coming out here. What is she scheming at this point? You know, I want to take my baby to New York. I want to take my baby to LA to see Doria. It's not allowed, okay? It's not going to be allowed. Here. They're not going to even let this baby get out of the grounds of Frogmore and Windsor. This is what this is. And this will be the next debacle, okay? Well, I think they're protecting this child from drugs. I don't know. I get drugs. I don't think it's alcohol so much, but like cocaine. They don't want this child around these cocaine addicts and drug takers. But very kind of protected, this new child. Let's have another card here about this. Gosh, didn't expect this to come out. Oh, she's off to see our lawyer. She's off to see our lawyer. She's fuming about this. We don't want that baby around cocaine, drugs, and the baby stays in Frogmore and Windsor. Not good, guys. Hands-on for the first 6 months. After that, no. Okay. So let's have a look here. What they call as hands-on, it'll be, you know, the nanny can go and bath the baby. The nanny can go and put the baby to bed. We will just pop in there and just give the baby a kiss and that kind of thing. But just what nannies do, really. So let's have a look here. Let's have a look at some more questions. Somebody asked a question about William. Let me find that question. I think somebody said, somebody said that has William had an affair? Did somebody ask if William had an affair? Because other readers have said that. Now, I don't get that. I don't go by other readers. I do things, you know, that I do things differently here. Oh, right. Thank you, Susan. Yeah, was William unfaithful? Is he unfaithful? He's got a massive sex drive. I pick up that he's got a massive sex drive, does William? Okay. I feel there is this kind of sense around the future kings. It's not just William, it's Charles, it's the previous kings. They have been told you can do what you like. You know, you can, if you're attracted to that actress or that ballerina or that dancer, you can have sex with them and have them as a lover, but you there's no way that you can, you know, because it's a privilege for the king. If he wants to do that, he can do that. Now, Camilla is well aware of that because he had an affair with her. he knows that that's allowed for the king. Also, you know, I get also Charles has said to William, you know, if you get tired and you want something new, doesn't mean that you have to leave your wife. It's just it's just so upsetting for Kate, because, you know, every kind of marriage gets tired after a while, and everybody, tell me a marriage that doesn't think, okay, I wonder what it'd be like with such and such, you know. And to have somebody say, you're the you know, the king has a privilege here that, you know, you can take on, but, you know, you have to, these people have to know that they are just mistresses, and it's nothing, you know, there's nothing going to come of this, and you must take this as just entertainment. And if there, and I'm sure there is lots of women that would do that, that would do that. There's an array of people out there, guys. You know, and there's lots of, most of these Etonians have been divorced, or because of, I mean, look at Boris Johnson. He's an Etonian. He's had affairs because it's allowed. Okay, Etonian boys are taught that, yeah, you can have mistresses, you have a wife, and this is the way they and something that aristocratic sets, actually, this is how they see marriage, is that a marriage is a contract to this aristocratic set, these Eton boys. A marriage is a contract, and you sign that contract, you know, and that is for that woman to have your children, for that woman to live in a life of luxury, for that woman to have a family looked after, for that woman to be protected and have the lifestyle that is, you know, people would admire. That is the contract when you marry someone. And these aristocratic sets, this is it. This is how they think. You marry for a contract, but for sex and lust, you have an affair with your mistress. You always have a mistress. If you was an Eton boy, this is how you were taught. You would always have a mistress. The mistress is for sex, excitement, giving that mistress, you know, what you wouldn't do to your wife. And there is this, you know, there is this Madonna whore complex that's instilled into these kind of Etonians. I'm saying too much here, I know, but this is what happens. They have this, you know, their wife is the Madonna, and they cannot have sex with the wife, and, you know, swing from the chandeliers and do every position possible, and all of this kind of thing, and play sex games with the wife. Okay. But you can do that with your mistress, and that's how they think. Boris Johnson is doing this to the letter. You know, I think that, you know, but then again, what happens if you actually meet somebody that you love? I mean, yes, and that's also this contract too. You love your wife. You love your wife, you love your children, you give your wife everything. And there is this understanding that the wife knows that that person is going to have affairs. Cake and eat it. Okay, it's gone back generations. Now, this thing here is the only thing that I would be concerned of, is because William is an Etonian. William has been brought up by his grandfather's ethics of having a wife and a mistress. Also, Prince Charles is shown that he's had a mistress and also a wife. I feel, would he have an affair by going by the record of Etonian boys? I'd say yes. Yes, but this is something that's accepted. So let's have a look here, and yeah, I actually had that experience too, where I was the main partner, and the mother-in-law was saying to you don't have to tell everything to your partner or your wife here, what you're doing. There are secrets for men, and that's the mother-in-law. Okay. What's that, Winnie? Yes, my first husband was Italian. When I became pregnant, my mother-in-law told me he now can have a mistress, and they knew my child was his. Yeah, it's some kind of it's some kind. I feel that Prince Charles has had many mistresses, and this is his weakness with Meghan, because Meghan's very good at seduction. It is part of being elite. It is part of being elite. So let's have a look here. Has Prince William had an affair? I think when he first got with Kate, I think they told them to split up, didn't they? And then they got back together. And I think at that point, I feel that Prince William was a little bit confused with the amount of choice that he had. I mean, when you've got absolutely beautiful women throwing themselves at you, and you have a sex drive like William, that is going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. And then being told it's allowed. It's allowed if you want to dabble, though. It's allowed. So that's going to be hard to fight, I feel. Even if he is a very loyal husband and he loves Kate, it's still allowed. It's still allowed. So let's have a look here. Has he had an affair? I think cheating is so wrong, guys. It's so degrading. Knowing that your husband is, just spent, I don't know, all day doing things to another woman that they would not dream about doing to you. I don't condone cheating at all. I feel if you're married to someone, that's special, and you should be loyal to each other, not say it's allowed. And a mother-in-law to say that is wicked. That's evil. That's evil. So let's have a look here. As we're asking the question here, has William had an affair? Or let's ask, is he having an affair? Is William having an affair? Is William having an affair? I think his eyes do wander, because he's been told, his template is, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. Why not do it? Do it, do it, do it. Has he had an affair? Is he having an affair? Is he having an affair? Is Prince William having an affair? Is Prince William having an affair? Wow. There may have been someone around. When a baby was when Kate was pregnant, and maybe with Louis, he went to some celebration, and it's either when Louis was born or when Louis. It wouldn't have been George. It is a boy. I get here. I feel it's Louis when she was pregnant with Louis, or when the baby was there. There was this blonde female, very very attractive female, at a celebration. Did he cheat? I think he was dancing with her or chatting, flirting, kind of thing. Did he cheat? Did he cheat? No way. No, he wouldn't have cheated. Because he has this mindset of, why put yourself in that position where it may destroy your whole marriage. And he saw it with his father. So I don't feel that he would want this uphill battle of regaining his reputation. I think he's very mindful. There was a celebration around before. You may have even seen Kate's face looking very unhappy. They may have blamed it onto postnatal depression, but I feel that Kate found out that he'd been flirting with a blonde lady at some celebration, and it really upset her because she was pregnant, and she was either giving birth or she was heavily pregnant, and she felt ugly anyway, that kind of thing. And but I don't feel he went all the way. I feel it was just like a peck on the cheek, maybe a cuddle, playfulness, and getting a little bit, but I don't feel somebody took that and maybe made it look bigger than actual. He did flirt with her. It upset Kate, I feel, but there's no way that he would go and cheat on Kate, because it would absolutely destroy the monarchy. He can't do that. I feel he's a bit more mindful, although he's been saying to go for it. What would Catherine know? Of course she would know, okay? Of course she would find this out. Of course she would find this out. I think it may have been some kind of, you get these, your buddies from university getting together and having a party. It's like a reunion. I know that sounds crazy, but it's like a reunion of friends from college getting together. I think there was a very attractive blonde female there who also studied, I think, politics, and also studied a master's, possibly PhD. Very intelligent woman, very flirtatious, very attractive, and I get like an old kind of college person. He's known her for years, but I think he was tempted, but I don't feel this was, So was this, did he sleep with her? He kind of spent a couple of days with her just doing things, but that was just because, well, there is like let's keep this quiet card here. Let's keep this quiet. He may have said that. Let's keep this quiet. We'll just spend a day together. Let's keep this quiet. An old person. somebody he's known for a long time here, same age as him, 37, 30. So what happened here? Did they have an affair? Did they have an affair? He's married. No, I don't think there was an affair. I feel this woman is very liberal, and she is very liberal with the way she expresses herself and all that kind of thing. He's married. We need to not say anything about this. Just let's keep this quiet. We'll spend a day together doing stuff, but let's just keep this quiet as like college friends. I feel that Kate found this out. She got very depressed over this. You know, she'd just given birth to Louis. I think that could be the reason why she burst into tears. She was. I do get that Kate was very hot. Yeah. You see, it is allowed. It's allowed, and it's like, you know, think yourself lucky. The horseshoe. Think yourself damn lucky. You're married to the king, the future king, and you know the future kings always have mistresses. I think this is, you know, this is appalling. Really, she was heartbroken when she found out here about this time he spent. Also, if she found out that they were emailing each other quite a lot. Okay, more than should email. I feel it was like yeah, he was the fox. Yeah, I get William was a fox. He was emailing her, and while she was carrying Louis, I feel that this was not postnatal depression. I think they blamed it on that. I think it was something to do with Kate being very, very hurt by hearing about this. And it's like she would never know if he cheated on her. I'll just pull out some cards here just to make sure. My medieval deck here. Okay, thank you for your comments, guys. Amazing. Okay, this has gone on for a long time, this session. I hope you've enjoyed it. Even if you've fallen asleep with my voice energies on the sofa and I've helped you to fall asleep, and soothe your mind by my voice, well, that's perfect. Okay. So let's have a look. Did he have an affair? Did he have an affair? Did William have an affair with this old, very intelligent woman who's very attractive, blonde hair? He's always had the hots for her. You know, can you imagine the blonde hair against that black kind of you know, robe and hat at the you know, at their graduations? He's always had the hots for her. She's intelligent. She's also I think she's got a doctorate now. Did they have an affair? Well, I think she was tempted. He was tempted. They spent time together. It was like an earned relaxation for both of them. That's all this was. They just spent time together. Yeah, being lazy. Yeah, you know, like just chilling out basically. Because I get like Princess of Pentacles, which is, you know, is like earned relaxation. And I also get the Three of Pentacles in reverse, which is being lazy. Being lazy. And being lazy, just chilling out, hanging out together. I feel this is what this was. Okay. Very successful female here. Yeah, the Six of Wands, I think she was talking about her kind of how what's happened since the graduation and more studies, what she's doing. I get her on some kind of like political stage here. or an advisor of some sort here. Did they have an affair? No. After this, anybody go ballistic. I don't blame Catherine, because after this time together, hanging out here while she's having this baby, heavily pregnant, I feel that Kate said, you need to cut this person off. You need to cut this person off here. I feel this is what happened. He decided to stop emailing her, to stop having this, whatever this was. I think he was told to cut this off, or there's a liability of having an affair with her. But I don't feel he did. But he did put a lot of effort into this relationship with her, which was a friendship. But he has confronted this difficulty, which is the Six of Swords in reverse. He's confronted this difficulty. He's realised that this is quite a close friendship. He has cut this off, and the public are seeing this differently than just a friendship. And he's just doing this to maintain the peace in his family. Okay, so nothing happened sexually. There was a romantic desire. This woman was very attractive, blonde hair, very intelligent, exciting. There was an emotional connection from university, lots of history. But now he's rejecting her kindness. Yeah, this caused quarrels, and he feels defeated that he has to give this up. I feel an emotional affair, but not sexual. Yeah, it was an escape. Yeah, okay. The Four of Pentacles, which depicts holding on to this affection. Why? Because this gave William inner strength and made him feel safe and secure. And it helped him to escape other feelings. But he's cut it off now. And he's stopped emailing this woman. Okay. Now that's what I get. I don't get an affair. Okay, not a full-blown, maybe an emotional affair, but it's an old buddy from, an attractive old person who was at university with, who is very intelligent, who's attractive. He's close to her, but he was getting too close, emailing, texting, meeting up with her, hanging out together, celebrations. I think that was too much. And I think he was told to stop, which he has done. Okay. Now that's what I get here. He's the future king. He's going to have people around him. He's going to have people who are disguised as friends, just wanting to be part of the royal family and all of this. Of course he is. Okay. Now let's have a look at your comments. Let's have a look. You're all kind of talking to each other, which is amazing. Great community, guys. I love it. Okay. And I want you, before I close up with this, I want you to email me if you want to come on the show and be live with me and ask your questions, because, some of you frustrated there because you couldn't ask your questions and I didn't get to you because there's so many damn questions. Give me an email. Make sure that you've got Google Hangouts, and I'll organise how you can be part of this show. And ask your questions. Give me an email, guys. Make sure you've got Google Hangouts. Set that up. invite me, okay, to Google Hangouts, and I'll get you on this show, okay? Because I don't just want this to be a communicative community on this like form here. I want you to be involved with the show, okay? And you will get to know who these people are. You will be able to hear their voices. We will find out where you're from, where you live, what your lives are like. Okay, we can get deeper into these friendships here. And that's what I want here, guys. Okay. If you're new to my channel, thank you for joining us. And you're welcome to our community. Everyone is welcome here. Okay. It's a healing, intuitive energy channel, and I cover lots and lots of different things, so we don't get bored. So let's have a look here. Hope you enjoyed that reading on Prince William. Okay. I don't think he would touch Meghan with a barge pole. William would not touch Meghan. He goes, if he was to have an affair, which I doubt it, he would go for somebody like this, like this female who went to the same university, who's done further studies, and is now has a doctorate, a PhD. He wouldn't be interested in anybody like Meghan, okay? And then he respects his friend too, to actually take that step. Okay, guys, thank you. Okay. Does anybody know why some girls has gone? Well, I have to say, guys, that I have actually changed my titles, because if I put Meghan or anything like that in the titles, I've noticed that YouTube don't allow my channel to have playback on the chat. So because I've changed the titles, you have a look. I'm sure that I'll be able to get playback on this. Okay, if not, I'd be annoyed. So it is something to do with stopping these comments about this Meghan debacle. Okay, but that's wrong, because we are allowed to have our opinions and free speech. They can't stop that. Okay. So thank you for being here, guys, and please give me an email if you want to be on the live show. The next live show is the evening show on Sunday. I'm not sure what that's going to be about. I think about that last minute. The reason why I think about it last minute, because I don't want any plagiarism here and people copying off my my titles and doing it before I actually get there. Because that happens. Okay, it has happened that my title has been stolen and done it somewhere else. So that's why I leave it last minute, and I make it very complicated so they don't understand what I'm doing. Okay, so please let me know if you're interested. I've been on here, I don't know how long I've been on here now, maybe an hour and a half, I don't know, but it's a nice healing voice for you to switch on, to relax to, on your tea break, on your coffee break, on your way home, and wherever you are, at home. I love all of you. Okay, thank you so much. What would I do without you guys following me? It's just amazing. And it's a healing channel. That's the main thing that I do here. It's a healing, covering lots of subjects. And I do get very passionate about some of these subjects, okay? So thank you, everyone. Thank you. And you're the best too. You're the best too, guys. And I know you could chat there all day long, but continue in the comment section, because I cannot. Hello, Daphne. I actually asked you to come on the live show, Daphne. I sent you an email. Yvonne, did you see the Queen has shut down Miss Markle? I thought she would say anything, but she saw it all, and now she's punishing her. She can't wear any. Yes, Daphne, I've done a reading on that. I've done a reading on that, and I've also got uncut readings on that too. Obviously, you're not catching up on my videos. So let me know if you're interested. Okay, coming on here live. Oh, your dog's awake. Oh, bless. Well, it's probably excited by my voice then. That's cute. Okay, so, oh, hi, Daphne, you must have missed it, yeah. Daphne, I asked you to come on live. So anybody who wants to come on live with me, send me an email. Make sure you've got Google Hangouts. Invite me to Hangouts, and we're all set to go live, okay, when I come back on. So sending you guys lots of love, lots of blessings. Thank you for being here again. You know, you have to understand that there are some people that are interested in voice energies, in talking about intuition, talking about healing of the mind, REIKI, talking about intuitive energies, talking about tarot, talking about narcissism, because narcissists, don't forget, narcissists actually are attracted to empaths, which I am. So it's all relative. So please be aware that it's not going to be just about your subject that you like. It's going to be about lots and lots of subjects. So please join in with the community, okay? And don't be disappointed if I'm looking at another subject, because I always, at the end of it, I always do some readings at the end. So sending you lots of love, lots of blessings, guys. Thank you so much. And if you'd like if you'd like any uncut readings, please give me, look in the community section of my YouTube. There's titles there of my uncut readings. I now do a Thursday morning show, which is about waking up to the narcissist, and that's generally empaths waking up to narcissistic people, and that's a healing show. I also have my other shows, which could be any subject, and the evening show on Sunday. So anything you want to find out about any of my shows, go and look in the community section. Any titles that you want to see on the uncut section, please do, okay? And if you'd like your own personal reading, just give me an email and ask me about personal readings too. I do have a website too. So if you look in the About page, you can see my website address, which tells you all about me, all about my tariffs and fees if you do want a personal reading. And also, if you want to make a donation, the link is on the front page of my YouTube, or it's in the description box at the bottom there. If you want to give a donation, you don't have to, but if you want to support my channel, it's there if you want to make a donation, okay? So sending you guys lots of love, lots of blessings, and bye for now. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye, everyone.